Hey, you can put this on in the background. It's just audio, there's no visuals. But this is one of many stories I've written in my spare time, and rather than letting them go to waste, I'll put them into a podcast, which I have in the description and the bottom, and I'll put some on here when I have a chance to hopefully keep the channel alive while we work on bigger projects. So here is it's my show, The White Rabbit.
Alright, you two. I need a show.
Sir, what kind of show?
Any show. You got news on your phone? Anything on one of his Googles coming up?
Sir, I don't think... Well, I mean, I could find a few. I mean, there's one here about financial reports, and one about...
I don't... I've already done a Bitcoin thing. It's all boring. Alright, you know what? Make me up one, right now.
What, sir? Make you up one?
That's what I said. Make me a story, right now, right here.
About anything. Whatever you want.
Okay, how about this? You make up the story about it, making it, like, happy sounding.
Okay, sure.
And you make it as gritty or as intense as you want. Go. And you better do good, because depending on which one of you does better, I'll switch to your audio channel. How's that?
Wait, you want us to lie better?
I mean, that or the viewing's gonna change. Anyway, good luck, have fun.
Wait, sir,
Once upon a time, in a village tucked away, was the people of the masks. Nobody had seen their true faces, as they all wore animal masks chosen for them by the village shaman. Even amongst themselves, their faces remained behind their masks. They were taught to embrace and grow into their animal strengths, from the smallest mouse to the fiercest tiger. In the early years of the village, there was a balance of predator and prey masks. The forest provided ample game, but as the years went on, the weather turned colder and snow came to stay. More of the forest was frozen over, making it hard for the mice and birds to find food. Some left with
This just in. Previous recorded numbers of corpses left on Mount Everest have lowered drastically as of last recount a year ago. Intrigued, scientists and researchers have sent several more expeditions up the icy slopes since the beginning of this year, and each trip has returned with even lower counts of bodies. This has caused a rise in tourism and work among the Sherpas and local agencies, as the human remains were controversially helpful in navigation of the perilous slopes. Many have expressed gratitude for whatever entity is cleaning up the mountain, but this has also raised another question. What is causing the bodies to vanish? To answer that, we've sent reporters up the mountain to see what's going on. Let's tune in.
Soon, the predators hunted too much of the game, and there was very little food remaining. Many of the other small animal masks fled, except for one. The little white rabbit was chased out of the village and into the unforgiving snowy fields. The one who wore the white rabbit mask was not the smallest of the village, but was not good at hunting for any big animals. What was the rabbit to do? The rest of the village knew the rabbit could not survive on the frozen plants now. It was harsh winter. Only their predators and hunters remained, thinking they would thrive. All was good for another year until, as before, the game in the area, after growing again, became scarce and few. The predator mass sent one of their number to find more to eat, not to return until they did.
We're at the base of Mount Everest now, waiting for our guys to give us the all clear to head up. We've asked the locals about what they have heard regarding the recent corpse disappearances. Rumors of government hiring cleanup crews in secrets, or looters taking away bodies are the most common. But one other rumor has us perplexed. Stories of a figure dressed in a white rabbit costume in the snow. Said mysterious figure has signs of a blackened skin from frostbite, but that's the least sure detail. We'll update with you more once we reach the next camp.
They sent the lion to the north, thinking their strength would be plenty to drag back their prey. They waited for several days, but there was no news or word of success. The predators next sent the tiger to the east and waited days more. Again, no response, although one of the remaining villagers reported sightings of tall ears, almost as white as the snow. Next time, the predators sent out a group of 3, with orders to bring back anything that could be food. From the group that was sent, only one returned. They had a wrapped bundle of fruits and seeds. The predator that returned was scared and
We're at the next campsite now, and the crowds are waiting for their turns with any available guides. Tourism has risen greatly since the disappearances, and it doesn't seem to be letting up. We've been told we're going near last due to our small party size, which should make the climb easier. A few miles up the slopes now. No sign of any casualties so far, but most are located much further up. We're tied in a line to our guide, and the weather is stable.
They said that something hidden in the snow had followed the group, barely audible or even visible over the wind and the crunch of snow. As the footsteps caught up to the group, the snow and the wind seemed to swallow one of the hunters in a rush. When only one hunter was left, the footsteps scurried away. The bag of fruits and seeds was left at their feet.
The wind has picked up quite a bit now. We're seeing the first signs, or rather less signs, of bodies here. Some of the dead that had been frozen entirely in ice seem to have been carved out and dragged away, at least judging from the indentations. The tools are something like a curved blade. It could have been ice picks used for climbing. We've taken pictures of... Oh, hey, the rope ran slack. Josh, did you untie your... Wait. If it wasn't you, then our guide took off the rope. Hello, hey? We're still here. The rope's cut. I don't see any footprints. I think we lost our guide. I think those are drag marks. Wait, what is that?
Something a rabbit would eat, it was noted. The leader of the mass village, enraged by this insult, took a larger group with them to find this intruder. The village, now down to the mothers and young, was left without their old hunting ways. Once the winter finally moved on, the people adapted to their life of farming for food. Without needing to go out to hunt, they rebuilt and regrew. There was no ruling class or predators, and all lived in harmony. All animal mass were equal, and things returned to normal, but a sense of wonder still remained about the white rabbit and the old hunters. One day, a young villager with the mask of an owl went into the fields outside the safe area. They sought old clues to the stories to see what could be outside of their home. They found no tracks or bones in the grass, so they went further. By the time their curiosity faded, they found themselves lost in the deep woods. Fear took hold, and they ran back the way they came, but found that they had lost their way. We found shelter in a cave. There's a handful of sleeping bags here, and their bodies. Did that... All right, we saw a figure in the storm, or parts of it. It had claws. Its skin was coal black, but was obscured by a dirty white cloak. I couldn't see a face, but the limbs looked vaguely human. Guess the coal prevents decay, so at least we're spared the smell here. I think it's safe now. Let's head back to the base camp. Josh, don't sit too close, Josh. We gotta... Josh, what? The young owl tripped over a stone, and the child braced for impact. None came. The owl turned to see an old, battered glove grasping their shoulder. The person holding them up was very old, and had scars all over their darkened skin. Their once white mask barely hid their face, the color so dirty and scuffed it could never have been clean. The tall figure set the owl down gently, dusting the young one off. The owl sensed no fear or threat. I lost him! I don't know how, but the rope was cut. I didn't hear or feel anything. I saw a thing again. So it was a warped human. Black and gnarled skin, it had a tattered white cloak and had a half-rabbit mask. Oh god, his face, it had fangs, and the smell. It cut through the cold. I couldn't see the eyes, but I could feel them. God, I'm lost. Gotta keep running. Yeah, I'll keep hanging down. God, this hammer is heavy. It's slippery. Oh, what? Who are you? The owl asked. It's good you don't know me, the old figure said. I used to be like you, young and naive. What do you seek out here? I wanted to see what happened to the first hunters, where they went. The old figure sighed. Do you know what happens to rabbits who are thrown out into the wild, all alone? The owl shook their head. They adapt, the old figure continued. What once was its way is lost. What once was undesirable becomes normal. The prey becomes predator, worse in almost every way.
Only one person made it back to the studio. We are taking care of them and giving our sincere condolences to the families of the employees who didn't make it back. We will update you as we find out more. Safe to say, don't go back up that mountain ever again. The old figure handed the owl a few pieces of fruit and stood to leave. I hope you never have to throw any more rabbits into the snow, for all of your sakes. The young owl watched the once rabbit leave, melding with the underbrush and tree trunks. Though they didn't quite understand the old figure's meaning, they could sense the despair and finality in their words. The owl found the path back clear, not telling the village what they saw. They got the feeling that the once rabbit didn't want to be found.
You did something. I don't know what you did, but that's good enough, I guess.
Sir? You seemed bored in there. Yeah, what? Did I not make it like creepy enough for you with that one?
No, the ratings were fine. We got enough views. Good job, you two. Just go home. You're good. I need to fire those two one day.
Thank you for tuning in to today's story. Public domain music was used from a website called freepd.com, from Kevin MacLeod and Alexander Nakarada. Story by me, Kid Shy Yingzuri, or just Kid for short. I hope it was entertaining, and I hope to see you guys next time.